Dr. Viharidas Gopaldas Patel, an institution by himself, can teach more than several books put together. Awarded with the Padma Shri on 30th March 2017, Dr. Patel lived his life with a purpose and passion. Born on 6th September 1939, Dr. Patel obtained his doctorate from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA in 1968.
When he came back, or rather getting his PhD degree in US and working for some time, he already decided that he is not going to live in that country, and very much felt committed to come back to India and work for the country.
He returned to his home state Gujarat in 1969 and joined the Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation as Chief Economic Advisor.
When he was working as Chief Economist in Gujarat Industrial Development Corporation, his role was very important in industrialization of Gujarat in its first phase.
It was during his 10-year tenure at GIDC that several innovative schemes and policies to promote new entrepreneurs were initiated in the state and the country. After his stint at the GIDC, Dr. Patel was appointed as the first managing director of the newly set up Gujarat Industrial and Technical Consultancy Organization Limited and lent it his dynamic leadership for 5 years.
The then Commerce Minister Manubhai Shah, while in a flight from Delhi to Ahmedabad, told him, Vijay, I think we should have an institution of creating entrepreneurs.
As you all know, Manubhai Shah gave this idea of working for Gujarat, and he got so involved in it. So we left everything in Delhi and we came back to Ahmedabad.
He had a dream. He wanted industry to be started by people who did not have sufficient background but had the courage and insight into working of an industry.
Having EDI in Gujarat, when he went to central government, they wanted it in Delhi. Indira ji was there. She wanted it in Delhi. And so he said, कि माउंटेनियरिंग ની ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ તો માઉન્ટેન પાસે હોય તો એન્ટરપ્રેનરની ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ તો એન્ટરપ્રેનર્સ પાસે હોય and Gujaratis are the best entrepreneurs in the whole country.
His next achievement was to trigger off the entrepreneurship movement in the country, and his untiring efforts materialized with the setting up of the Center of Entrepreneurship Development, Gujarat, and then in May 1983, the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, popularly known as EDII, Ahmedabad. The first institution of this kind in the whole of Asia, EDII was supported by leading financial institutions.
He was a mentor, founder director of EDII, and innovator, pioneer of entrepreneurship. He pioneered entrepreneurship movement at a time when hardly people believed that entrepreneurs could also be trained, or entrepreneurship could also be a matter of training, counseling, interventions.
Dr. Patel was also instrumental in availing cooperation from the government of Gujarat towards this initiative.
Dr. Patel was a great soul, a great administrator, and a great teacher and a great speaker. I think whatever I could make in my career as a humble propagator of entrepreneurship, I have learned each and everything from Dr. Patel.
His pioneering activities at EDII gave a tremendous boost to the entrepreneurship culture in India. He pioneered the idea of creating entrepreneurs through training cum counseling intervention.
EDI was his passion. He had done so much of work there, and he worked with several other institutions as well. He wanted to make sure that he could give back to society in a variety of ways that was allowed.
Through EDII, Dr. Patel initiated the process of entrepreneurship development in developing countries, convinced the Indian government to include entrepreneurship as a subject in the formal education system, promoted and assisted national and international ED organizations, worked towards developing human resource for ED organizations, undertook entrepreneurship research and information dissemination on a wide scale, influenced support environment, and worked towards developing first-generation entrepreneurs.
My first interaction with Dr. G Patel, whom we fondly used to call VG, was in the year 1984. I was fresh out of the college. I was studying at IIM Ahmedabad. He came for recruitment to EDI as faculty members. And since that year, since 1984 till today, I have known VG as a great individual, a great human being.
The visionary that he was, he realized the role of support systems in an entrepreneur's career and thus designed programs to influence policymakers at different levels. Dr. Patel also envisioned how to inculcate the spirit of entrepreneurship in the psyche of the present generation. The visionary introduced the first ever educational program in entrepreneurship, the postgraduate diploma in management and business entrepreneurship.
He was a crusader of entrepreneurship and always a flag bearer, and he led entrepreneurship movement impressively. He taught us that to be an effective entrepreneurship trainer or teacher or educator, we all need to be entrepreneurial. He was full of energy.
He wanted to do a lot for society in every walk of life, and I think his ability to bring people around, to sit down, to discuss, to thrash things and come to some solutions for the pending problems that we have had.
He was a visionary who could actually understand the importance of entrepreneurship in the days to come. See, what we talk about Startup India today is a result of the seeds, the concepts were sown during those days.
Our Honorable Prime Minister talking a lot about skill development. He said that this skill development by talking cannot happen. It has to be a national institution. And he worked and created a institutionalized approach to skill development, which is a national institute proposed. So that's how, without anyone's telling him, on his own suo moto, he did a very big project which is there, and let's hope that will also see the light of the day.
If we are today at the forefront of entrepreneurship development, the sole credit goes to this genius, Dr. G Patel. A great traveler, a voracious reader, and a widely acclaimed scholar, Dr. Patel has written several books, articles, research papers, and reports. His sense of aesthetics has also been greatly acclaimed.
He was my first client. I had to design this institute for him. And I think fortunately it came out, the architecture came out very nice. That was we are talking about the 1980s. It came out as a wonderful place. He would go around praising it. But he was very tough with us because we had exceeded the budget and we had spent more time than necessary on building, and he was going to make sure that his interests of the institute were not in any ways compromised.
The sprawling campus of EDII, built under his critical eye, was conferred with the prestigious Aga Khan Award for Architecture in 1992.
The Aga Khan Award is not an award to an architect, it's an award to a project, and recognizes that a good project requires a client, a contractor, and an architect, all three to work together for it to come up well.
Dr. Patel got a special award for completing the project in the amount mentioned. Not 1 rupee more, 1 rupee less. That showed his honesty.
Yogini, his wife, has been always a great support. He was a great family man. He loved his family, he loved his grandchildren, spent a lot of time.
Papa has always been my guide, mentor, more than a father to me. I take pride that he's the one who encouraged and motivated me to go and do my masters, and I hope I make him proud someday.
So many times he would to laugh that in his grandchildren he sees himself. Sometimes the determination, sometimes children doing what the way they want to do. That's how life is. He lived his life very happily.
His love for sports, especially cricket, is well known. An ardent cricket fan, he started the Directors' Cricket Cup. He did not just play the game with passion, but he was also magic on the field.
The entrepreneurship development movement started in April 1970 in Gujarat, and it was the beginning of a first program to develop new entrepreneurs or first generation entrepreneurs. The future plan, you might say, is to make sure that entrepreneurship training is available to everyone in India, in all parts of India.
History will remember this great man who dared to dream and convert his dream into reality by making it his lifetime mission for the benefit of others. You will always live in our memories, Dr. Patel.
I have wonderful memories of Dr. G Patel. You remember Dr. G Patel, it's his smile, full of joy, sometimes full of mischief.
I really respect him for his erudition, his commitment, his simplicity, his straightforwardness, and above all, human values which he cherished.
And I miss him. I miss him very much.
God bless Bihari Bhai.
May his soul keep on blessing the entrepreneurship movement in this country.
I pay my tributes to him for that great work which he's done, that great human being that he was, and a great personality that he was.
The void left by his sudden demise will take time to fill, and we all pray to God to rest his soul in peace.